teen cannabis use doubles risk of psychosis. Bipolar disorder in young adults. A new study confirms that adolescent cannabis use significantly increases the risk of developing severe mental health conditions like psychosis and bipolar disorder in early adulthood. The findings, based on a large-scale analysis of nearly 500,000 adolescents, add to growing concerns about the impact of rising cannabis legalization and potency on teen brain development. Rising cannabis use among teens. Cannabis use among teenagers has surged in recent decades. Since 2000, usage has risen by 245%, with over 30% of U.S. high school seniors reporting past-year use and 6.3% using it daily, according to 2022 data. This trend coincides with increased legalization across the U.S., now legal for recreational or medical use in most states, and dramatically higher THC concentrations in cannabis products. Study findings. A clear link to psychiatric disorders. Researchers analyzed health records from 460,000 adolescents, tracking them through age 25. The results are stark. Teens who reported cannabis use in the past year were twice as likely to receive a clinical diagnosis of psychosis, including schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, compared to non-users. The study, published in JAMA Health Forum, controlled for pre-existing mental health conditions, establishing a clear correlation between cannabis use and new-onset disorders. We looked at kids using cannabis before they had any evidence of these psychiatric conditions, and then followed them to understand if they were more likely or less likely to develop them, said Dr. Lynn Silver, co-author and pediatrician at the Public Health Institute. While past research suggested a link between cannabis use and psychiatric symptoms, this study is one of the first large-scale, longitudinal analyses to confirm a direct association with diagnosed mental health disorders. Psychiatrists not involved in the research, like Dr. Ryan Sultan of Columbia University, agree. This is very, very, very worrying. Why this matters? Brain development and THC potency. The adolescent brain is still developing, particularly areas responsible for emotional regulation, motivation, and cognitive function. Cannabis use, especially high-potency products, can disrupt this development. THC acts on cannabinoid receptors in the brain, and early exposure may have long-lasting effects. Average THC concentrations have more than quintupled since the 1990s, now exceeding 20% in some regions, increasing the risk of adverse effects. This means that today's cannabis is significantly stronger than what previous generations were exposed to. Implications for policy and education. The study's authors urge clinicians, parents, and policymakers to take note. The findings support stricter regulations on youth access to cannabis, increased education about the risks, and targeted marketing restrictions. As legalization expands, preventing teen use will require proactive measures to protect vulnerable brain development. The link between adolescent cannabis use and severe mental health disorders is now stronger than ever, demanding a serious public health response.